What's good, Joe? It's your girl Ash Kash, and you are watching Real Cash Talk.
Low rim, bitch. Yeah.
Wait. Had to clear my throat.
Alright, y'all. As y'all can see, I got a guest here. This is Trinity, but she goes by T, so we will be calling her T throughout this podcast. Also want to shout out O'Shea and Kiera. They wasn't able to make it today, but they sent me their answers. So as y'all can see, we is talking about dating and relationships.
Oh,
And
brother.
she's single. I'm taking O'Shea and Kiera. They're a couple, so I felt like it's only right to have opinions of a single person and people that's in a relationship. So, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, before we get into some questions, I just want to know, so how long you been single for?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's see. So, my ex-boyfriend, the last relationship I was in was with a man, which is a little weird for me, but that ended in 2020.
Okay, so about 3 years?
So I've been single for 3 years, but it's genuinely felt like that relationship didn't even happen. So,
So would you say you're more of a lover girl or relationship? You might to just have your cake, eat it too. This is a no judgment free zone podcast.
when I'm in a relationship,
or just in general, like
in general, I always put myself first. I am a lover towards myself. So I say that to say I'm not really a people pleaser.
Got you.
If you're attracted to me, you're attracted to me. And I feel that way about somebody else. Now, when I'm in a relationship or somebody that I'm feeling, I do get a bit like submissive, which I think is natural. It's the natural order of things for me to become submissive. And when I say submissive, I don't mean like, yes, daddy. But I mean, like, as far as I love to see the people that I love happy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to intentionally do things that make you happy. Also, not putting myself, second to that.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
I don't necessarily call myself a lover girl, though.
I feel that. So, you've been single for 3 years.
Yeah.
O'Shea and Kiera, they've been together for 2 years. Me and my partner, I hate that word. Me and Susan. If y'all don't know, me and Susan, we've been together for like 2.5-ish years. So, not bad little thing. So let's get into it then.
Honeymoon phase? Are you guys in your honeymooning cupcake?
I feel like the honeymoon, this whole thing with the honeymoon phase and the cupcake phase ends, I feel like it should never end.
Very
I feel
true.
like if you really fuck with that person, that stuff doesn't stop. It's not going to be all the time.
Right.
But we still have our moments very much so where I feel like I wouldn't say butterflies. I'm a G. I don't get butterflies. So I would say I'll be like, oh, there come my baby. I'm happy to see my baby type.
Right.
But it's also sometimes I'm like, get off my face. Like, that's normal though. Like,
Yeah.
we've been together for almost 3 years, so that's just normal. So I feel like any couple should be able to say that unless they're just up each other's butt 25/8, which I can't do.
Sometimes that lasts forever.
I don't
up each other's butts.
I don't see how. Like, me personally, I love me and Susan's schedule. Like, I work literally 9 to 5 and she works 2 to 10. So I see her for like an hour, 2 max during the week. So it's like, it's good timing. We talk a little bit. And the weekend, if we don't have plans, we hang out with each other. So it balances out.
Okay.
But if I was, with her all the time, oh my God, I would get tired of her. I would get tired of her. Like, I know I would.
I feel like that's why I'm not a lover girl. I need my space.
Yeah.
I need to be able to miss you.
Yeah, like that. It should be like that. Like, cause when
I'm
I
not
get
big
home,
on PDA either.
For real? Like, okay, when you say PDA, do you mean like holding hands
Not even
in public, or
not even public? I'm not big on DA. I don't know. It has to be me initiating the affection.
Okay.
So, like, when I want it, I'll let you know that I want it. But physical touch is definitely not my first love language. Physical touch comes in like third.
No, you know, mine's too. Like, it's like I like to be. I don't know. I just like my space. Like,
I think it's healthy to like space.
Yeah.
But even then, I can be in the same space with somebody. Like, we don't have to be touching.
Yeah.
Like, you can sit on that side of the couch. I can sit on this side of the couch. You can be watching TV. I'm reading a book.
And you're comfortable.
And I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think, what is it? Time spent is a love language. I think that's my number one love language. But don't kiss me.
Not like, no.
Don't kiss me. Don't put your tongue in my mouth. Don't, like, just don't touch me unless I ask you to.
That is so funny. See, y'all, I was originally going to have her on season 3. Just because I was going to do, like, a couple this season and then, like, someone single the next season. But who said you was even going to be single next season? You might end up being taken. But you like your space. So, but let's get into the first question. We're going to talk a little about each little question. I'm going to read off O'Shea's and Kiara's response. I'm going to just, what's that word? Sum up their answers. They both answer separately. So the first question we got is, why do you think it's hard dating in today's society?
So do we hear their answer first?
Oh, yeah, we can do theirs. We can do theirs.
Because I'm like, ooh.
So O'Shea said he thinks it's easy. Like, he said it's easy. He was just like, if you really, fuck with the person, you just fuck with him. He sent me such a typical male answer, like, which I expected him to do. So shout out to you, Obo. But he also said social media can ruin it, but,
Okay.
Kiara said it is, but it isn't. People's opinions and social media, that's what, like, really affects it. Like,
okay.
So, what would you say?
I think it gets down to the definition of dating. I think that it's healthy for people to actually use the definition, the textbook term of dating, of courting someone, which is usually involving multiple people. Weigh out your options. I don't believe in meeting someone, liking someone, and now we are upset with each other because there are other people involved.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not talking sexually. I'm strictly talking about courtship.
Yeah, like just talking to other people type thing?
Yes, like that's what dating is. I'm dating. Right now, I'm dating. This is what I'm doing. I'm dating. I'm not exclusive with anybody. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm not married. I'm dating. Which means, I have options. I might go out on a date with this guy and continue to go out on a date with this guy because he's funny and smart. But I also might go on dates with this guy because he's adventurous. We like to go hiking. We like to go swimming. We like to do things like that. I might go on a date with this guy because, I don't know, he's a family man and I like hanging out with his family. So that's dating. Do I think it's hard to date in society? Was that the question?
Yeah. Or why do you think it's hard dating in society?
Why do I think it's hard dating in society? Yes, that. Because people have not define the definition of dating.
That is true.
I think that communication is key. At the very beginning, you and the person you're dating at that moment in time should talk about what that defines, what that is. Maybe not on the first date, but when you feel like, okay, I like this person, we're gonna make maybe second or third. And everybody gets so scared with the whole what are we? But I think it needs to be discussed, what are we doing right now?
Yeah. I agree.
But also, I think it's hard because people aren't dating in their range. And I'm not talking about financial range because,
Yeah.
that it goes up and down.
Yeah.
Not necessarily about finances, although a lot of women, because of, I'll say society, not just social media, but society has made women more forward and I want a rich man. I want a high quality man, but you don't even know what that means. You don't even know exactly what you're looking for. You want a rich man, but and I don't want to say what do you bring to the table, but are you a rich woman? And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about, are you rich in mentality? Are you, I ambitious enough to even be dating this man?
I think when you said about the whole thing with women, they want a rich man. They all they see is dollar signs, money, money, money. But like you said, what are you offering to the table? Because I know plenty of men who are good men, and they're not rich. They have money, but it's like, they're like, yeah, I don't mind, spoiling my lady, but what are you doing for me type thing? I'm spending my bag on you, but what are you doing for me? Like, are you going to spend a bag on me? Are you helping me out mentally? Like,
and
things
that's
like
what I'm talking about. It goes outside of the finances. Every girl wants a rich man because, oh, I want the gifts. I want to be spoiled. I want the trips.
It's
you
so
want
much
all of these
more.
things. But can you sit down and have a conversation with this man? What are your interests the same as his? And I'm not saying y'all got to sit down and talk about the stock market.
Yeah.
But
no, really, like your goals, like do your goals align?
Exactly.
Like,
and that's what I mean by dating within your means.
Yeah.
You are not the smartest crayon in the box. But you want this man who's a CEO, who's a businessman, who owns his own companies and is dishing out all this money just because you're pretty? Like, what else do you have to offer?
Yeah.
When was the last time you picked up a book?
I don't think a lot of people, I would say a lot of women, and I would say really younger women who wants that rich, they don't realize, like, I feel like, me personally, if I see a man who's rich with money and he's spoiling his lady, I'm like, she has to be doing something for him also. Like, it's not just, oh yeah, here. Like me, it's like, Susan, she can get whatever she want because she's doing this, that, and the third. Like, you checking on me mentally. It's like you feeding into me. So, yeah, like, cool. I'm going to give you this, that, and the third. Like, because you're there for me. Like, but like you said, it's not all about money. Like, I'd rather have you check up on me mentally more than anything. Like, make sure I'm good. Make sure I'm okay. Like, my mindset at all that.
And a lot of men, higher quality, higher status men who, with that usually comes a nice bank account. That's what they need. I don't need a child.
You're right.
Somebody that I'm just like. But it also, doesn't mean I don't need you to help me run my business. Sometimes those type of men want a woman who I'm gonna come home and you cook for me. I'm very spoiled by all the men that I date, and I don't cook. At all. I don't cook. It's just I don't cook. But I provide something else for them, whether it be just to shut the fuck up and listen. Oh, can I cuss?
I mean, you do a little bit. I can do that.
Just to shut up and listen sometimes. So that's what I mean. And I think it's hard for dating because we think that's what we want. That goes as far back as working on yourself. Being alone. Before I met my ex-boyfriend, I was single for years. Maybe like 5, 6 years, maybe even longer than that. And I was not interested in being in a relationship. And it wasn't necessarily on purpose. But about the 3rd year in, I was like, okay, I'm single. Now what?
Yeah, like where do I go from here?
Where do I go from here? And I'm not out here looking anxiously, I need a man, I need a man, I need a man, I need a man. I like my solidarity because I grew into it. And I built myself up and I started reading and I started researching things that I was interested in. And I started watching videos on the things that I was interested in. And I started doing the things that I like to do.
You started dating yourself, basically.
Right. Horseback riding, going out to dinner. I love an expensive dinner. And it's not because somebody else is doing it for me. I love an expensive dinner because that's what I like to do.
Right.
So,
facts.
When you do that and you learn, then you learn how to date within your means.
You have to, like I said, I honestly, you have to know like I said in my other podcast, y'all, you have to know yourself, love yourself in order to feed into somebody else. Because if you don't know what you want, what you like, what you don't like, how you are as a person, like, I feel like you're not going to be able to date. And on top of that, it's like people who go through this whole healing thing. Now, me personally, I feel like there's really no timetable on healing. I mean, if you got out of a 7-year relationship, I don't think you should hop right into a new relationship. But then again, I don't know your heart. I don't know anybody been through. But if you feel like you've actually, dated yourself and put all that into yourself and you're ready to go back out there, then do it. But you won't know until you actually do it. Right. And people say like, oh, you shouldn't date right now because you're not. But how they going to know if they, healed or they you got to learn about yourself when you're dating someone. Like, you're not going to learn that if you're just steady by yourself still. I mean, you might some things, but I guess there's some things that Susan be like, yeah, you did it, and I'm just like, oh, all right, let me work on that. Let me fix that. Like, because I didn't know, right? But you said it, so you say it a lot, so let me work on this. Right. So date yourself for sure. When
we talk about healing, I think the stigma automatically goes to women. We are always saying oh, like, I'm working on me. I need time for myself. Sometimes I don't think it's as often as it should be. But how often do you hear a man say, I'm not interested in no woman right now? I think that men also need to take the time to heal. Men jump from relationship to relationship, dating. Let me not even say relationship. They spend a lot of their time dating and not really working on themselves. A lot of men don't even see where they need work. As soon as they start hearing criticism from a woman, it turns into nagging. And now I don't want to hear that, and now I'm getting rid of you, or you're getting on my nerves, so I'm going to just walk away. And maybe that might be the case, but have you thought about the things? Have you taken some time to be alone by yourself as a man and do the same thing? Find out the things that you actually like, so you can weed out some of these women who are using you, who you can weed out some of these women that you are using, and start getting into some genuine connections with people.
So let's go to the next question then. So do you think that social media has a huge impact on dating? So O'Shea said yes, for sure, but it could also be positive too, not always negative. But you're gonna see it different in men and women who just get easily influenced by little things. Not everybody is just mature enough to let social media impact it, but he said he would say yeah. And Kiara said, as in finding your person, yeah, because like dating apps and things like that, but also like it's just, she said negative ways too, but it's so much on social media that it's just like for example, that whole thing when Moneybagg Yo bought the car for Ari, whatever her name is. Then it's like every female's like, oh, my nigga gotta buy me a car, da 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 da. They're freaking rich. It's like as soon as your man can't buy you a car or pay all the bills, it's he broke, I can't. You don't know what that man's finances, you know? So it's like I started to feel bad for men because it's like it's like dang, like they really have to be paying every single bill just to get a girl, and it's like if they not, it's like it's an issue. The standard's definitely getting higher and higher. It's so the issue with that though is that the women are not matching energy. Exactly. You are requiring all of these things of a man. Yeah. But A, you can't do these things for yourself. And B, you're not requiring things from yourself. Or some of them might say, well, I cook and clean. And my first thing that I say, I know plenty of men who can cook and clean. My dad, I lived with him since I was 14 up until last year. He knows how to cook, clean, like, he don't need no woman. Like, he got a girl now, but he can cook and clean. Like, come on now. Like, there's plenty who can do it. I think women have to find a balance in their femininity. Like, because right now we have kind of like two extremes. We have the woman who, I want a man who does everything for me, buy me a house, buy me a car, put me on an allowance, do all of these things for me, and you can't match it. But then you also have this whole brand new brand of woman who are business owners. We have so many more black female CEOs in the country right now, matching the men, almost surpassing the black men. And they're so independent. They're just like, I don't need a man. And they are very independent. Yeah, I don't need a man. And so it's hard for them to even find a man. Even when they find a man, the man feels inadequate because what can I do for you? You're doing it all for yourself. I think women need to find a healthy balance in that. You don't need to depend on somebody else. You don't need to have all these standards for this man. I think we need to take away all of the material things about relationships. I'm glad you said that because people love to talk about, oh, my man or woman bought me this, bought me that. Me personally, I don't need my girl to buy me anything because I can get it myself. I don't need you to just be there for me. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it'd be cool if you buy me something. I'll be grateful for it. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not dating you for you to buy me stuff. I'm dating you because I genuinely have a connection with you. And I love you. I want to get married. Like, I want to do this and the third. It's not about you buying me stuff all the time. Like, you know? I agree with the thought that the man needs to be a provider. I agree. But I think that we have to open up what that term means. So the CEO, the businesswoman, you want a man who is a provider, but he's feeling like, what else can I provide for you? Because you are providing yourself with everything. The woman who is not a CEO. You want a man to be a provider, but now he's like, dang, I'm providing everything. Yeah. There are
other ways for you to provide, and that is the conversation that you need to have with your partner. You can be a provider mentally. You can provide me with love. You can provide me with security. And I'm not just talking about beating everybody up that looks at me. I'm talking about feeling secure in my relationship, feeling secure in my home.
Definitely.
Like, there are other ways to be a provider.
Yeah.
Now, your question, do I think social media influences? Yes and no. And I agree with O'Shea when he said it can be negative and positive. But as a people, we have to be able to determine what we are taking from social media.
I think people get too consumed in on what they see, and they just see it all the time. So they're just like, oh yeah, I need that. I want that.
Right.
I wish I had that. But it's like, do you really really want that? Like, do you know? And the thing is like, we don't really know what these other couples go through. Like, we see. But it's like, unless somebody's telling you, you really know, you don't really know. Like, a couple can post all day long. They the happiest couple on social media, but behind closed doors, we don't know.
That's
so it's
because
like,
we see what they want us to
see. People like social media is like, we're gonna show y'all what we want y'all to show y'all. Like, I can sit up here, like, for all they know, me and you, we not dating, but me and you could have had an argument 10 minutes ago, but they wouldn't know. Yeah, but y'all wouldn't know because we're showing y'all. I mean, we didn't argue enough. We've been chilling. But it's just like, we're showing y'all what we want y'all to see.
Right.
So it's like, people shouldn't get so consumed in on what's always on social media. Like, the pictures, the trips, they cute and all, but it's like, I mean, just date who you want to date, but for the right reasons. Don't just date a man or just because they got money or because they look good. It's like, really get to know them,
right? And
talk and like pick their brains. Like, what are their goals, ambitions? Like, what are their morals? What do they believe in? What's your religion? Like, you have to really get deep and have uncomfortable conversations to really, like, you know, try to find your genuine connection with people.
Because you think you want a rich man and you get the rich man and he's spoiling you, but he also whooping your tail every night.
Oh, controlling
Quick
you.
to aggression.
Yeah.
Controlling.
Like,
horrible morals. But he's a rich man and he bought you a Chanel bag.
Yeah.
Like,
it gets so much more
beyond that
than just money. And it's like, okay, question then. So, I know you've been saying this thing on social media, the whole 50-50 thing. So, what do you think 50-50 is in a relationship? Or should it be 50-50? Me personally, I've always said 50-50 is not always about finances. And I don't think people realize that.
I agree.
Like, it's not about finance. People are like, oh, my man pay the bills and provide them the mortgage, the rent, and I'm just cooking clean. Well, what about when you out of town with your girls? What are you supposed to do? You know, like, that's all you gotta do. Then, like, I feel like 50-50 is just, you, like you said earlier, you matching each other. Like, it's not always about the finances. And it's just, I don't understand why people, mostly female, why they get so, like, I'm not paying 50-50 or I don't think I should pay for a date. Like, do you think men should always pay for dates? Like, are you opposed to paying for a date, I should say?
Okay, so one question at a time. I'm going to pick this apart. 50-50. When we're talking about household finances, well, let me just start by saying everybody's different. You should do what works in your relationship.
Definitely.
Which starts with conversation. The conversation has to be had. People just go into relationships expecting, and then we're clashing and we're wondering why. We never, at the beginning of this, we should have talked about those expectations and got on one accord. So now we're 3 years in or 4 years in or 5 years in and we just moved in with each other. I saw a case where a woman owned a house, had already owned the house. The man moved into the house that she owned. He started paying most of the mortgage, and then she wanted to sell the house later on, and there was an issue because it's her house, but he's been paying the bills. And we never had a conversation about these things. We just kind of started doing it. Conversation has to be had. Me, personally, I don't believe in me paying anybody's rent or mortgage. Unless I'm living alone. I don't think it's sticky. You know, everything, it changes. But I've heard some success stories of that 50-50, we split the bills. The way that I was raised, I'm very spoiled. I've been spoiled since a child. I'm also a daddy's girl. But, you know, even if you're paying all of the bills as a man, you're providing, you are making sure that we have a house over our head and food on our tables. I've seen some stories where, yes, you're paying all the bills, but I am being allowed to save my money and stack my money, and so I'm doing other things with my money. I'm the one, you know, being able to plan and pay for vacations, or doing things like, hey babe, let me take you to dinner one day, because I'm not worried about trying to pay all the bills, but I'm also not excessively spending the money. And I think
That's no what you said, because I think a lot of women want that. They want a man to pay the bills and the mortgage just so they can just save their money to spend it
and excessively spend the money. You want to spend your money. You want to spend his money. You want him to pay all the bills. Him to buy all the food. Like
something has to give. Like something, like you said, you can pay for the trips because you had the money. Say, okay, babe, let's take out. Like that's something. Like something has to be met.
Or when it's time for those big gifts. A Rolls Royce for your man on his 50th, you know?
There you
something
go.
like that. Audemars Piguet, something like that. You know, nice gifts. You have the money to do so.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe in. A friend of mine, her parents have been married her entire life. She's an older friend of mine. I hang out with all old people, y'all. She's an older friend of mine. Her parents have been married for a very long time. And her father was paying all the bills. Well, her father got very, very, very sick recently and all of a sudden couldn't work anymore. But because he had allowed his wife for so many years to not pay all the bills, when he lost his job, she had money to continue to pay for his hospital bills, pay for all the equipment she had to bring him into the home, pay for an in-home nurse, pay for all the equipment they had to bring because he was no longer making the money. But you've been providing for me for all of these years.
So I got you.
Now it's time for me to provide for you. And I have been doing small things, giving you gifts, taking us on vacation, doing the small things, but I've been saving my money. I've been investing my money.
Great.
I've been, you know, buying stocks. And now I have all of this money that I've accumulated because you have been providing for me and allowed for me to do that.
I think that's how it should be. It shouldn't be just you live for free and you don't do nothing. Like it shouldn't women, if you got that in your head, please get it out because I don't think a lot of men is just gonna, you know, and I don't believe that. Okay, if a man say, okay, quit your job, you're going to be stay-at-home mom or you're going to do nothing, okay, cool. But don't get too comfy with that because as soon as he say, all right, I'm done with you or he got a new chick or something, then what you going to do?
If your man was to lose his job, if your man were to fall ill, you know, it could no longer work, break both his legs, God forbid.
Or die, God forbid.
Or die, God forbid. What now?
What you going to do?
I think sometimes as women, we get so caught up in the right now. Right now, I want this. Right now, he's buying me gifts. Right now, But we're not thinking about the what ifs. And I'm not saying live your life in the what if, but you need to have some type of security. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be dependent on your man to do everything.
You have to be realistic. And I don't think a lot of women are realistic on their decision. They just see dollar signs.
And the issue with that is social media.
Social media, it drives me crazy.
You're not taking away the right things from social media. So we see the Ari and the money bag, and the gift giving, and even I want to say it was Jada Wade a while back. The roses on Valentine's Day,
all the roses,
and all of these things about a car, bought a new Chanel bag. Even like people in our peer circle, people that are our same age. We live in DC. A lot of these girls is really getting it from these men, but. Are you looking at some of these videos where women are also talking about their self-worth, where women are discovering themselves, where women are setting their standard for themselves along with their standards for men? Yeah. Because again, like you said, they could be at home getting beat on. But I'm getting all these gifts and I'm getting all these things and then you're seeing it on social media now. That's what you want, but you don't even know what's happening behind closed doors. So I think we got to watch what we take away from social media. I also agree with her when she said it's good for like dating. Yeah. It is, you know, dating apps have opened a lot of doors for a lot of people. TikTok has taught me a lot of things about dating. I know some women out there taught y'all about where to find how value men, and how to carry yourself, how to present yourself, where you need to start hanging out, but take away the things that you also need to change about yourself.
Definitely. But that you said that, you TikTok. It's this one, I do not know her name, but she's
Sprinkle?
I don't know. She's a dark-skinned lady
Oh,
on
no,
TikTok. She's
I love the sprinkle lady, by the way. I am a sprinkle person. Judge me all you want, but
she is I think like a relationship coach, something like that.
Right.
And I seen her video one time, and I was just on her page for like the next hour looking at her stuff. And I'm just like, wow, like you have to be real with yourself. First off, you have to be like, okay, I'm this, that, and the third. Like, okay, whatever. Like ain't nobody perfect. Like everybody got their flaws, and you got things you have to work on. But you can't just be out here, just, I want this, by not providing or helping or pouring into somebody else. Like, right. I've always said, like, I would literally, like, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be rich. As long as your finances together, whatever. But you don't got to spoil me either. As long as you there for me, then you don't got to buy me nothing, because I can get it myself. Like, if I can do it without you, like, right. That's all it is. Like, because if you ain't here, then I gotta do it myself anyway. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
So it's just like, it don't matter. So it's like, I think my girl knows that. Like, she knows that. On top of that, she don't really act like, as jokes. She'll be like, oh, can you give me this? No. I'll turn around and get it for her, though. But it's just like, she don't ask for nothing. Like, Susan don't ask for nothing. And it makes me want to give her more. I see you going to work every day, you grind, and it's like, let me get you this,
right.
type shit. And I think a lot of men are like that too. Like, they see a girl who on they shit. So it's just like, I don't mind spoiling. But if you ain't doing nothing or providing or pouring into me, fuck, I'm gonna give you. Like, what am I gonna give you?
I think you attract what you are. And of course, you're gonna have some stragglers, some people who think that they're on your level, so they're gonna try to holler at you because Definitely. You look well put together. But you attract what you are. I date a lot of high value men. I date a lot of older men. I do have an age standard. But my standards are based on me, on my expectation. Like I already said, the things that I like to do. I attract these men. I don't just go hang out places because I want to meet a man. I go hang out at these places because I like hanging out at these places. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can go to these places and mingle with like-minded people, which is why I'm in these spaces, which is how I'm attracting these men. I didn't just start going there back when I used to be a waitress at Ruby Tuesday, and I'm going on, to hang out at the W on the weekends. Right. That don't add up. I don't even know how to talk to these people in here.
I feel like the older you get, though, you learn more, and it's just like, because I can look back now, I'll be like, I did that, or I dated them when I was that young, or I was acting like that, and I'll just be like, dang. But when you actually grow and learn, like, the biggest thing, learn. You have to really look back on your mistakes in a relationship or dating and know where you went wrong, know where you was wrong at, for you to grow and learn from that. So I'm looking at myself
from social media.
Yeah, learn from
Don't
social media also.
Don't just desire.
Yeah.
I want that. Learn. And even if that means, I wonder how she got that. Go figure it out. Learn from social media. It's not just about desiring and wanting, and you see something that you like, and now that's one of them commandments about coveting your neighbor's things. You just see it and now you want it. You don't even know what comes with it, and you don't even know how they got it.
Exactly.
Learn from social media. So I think social media can be used as a tool if we take away the good stuff.
Yes, you have to feed your mind with the positive on social media.
And don't let all that picturesque influence you.
Don't think because you see the pictures and the trips that it's all like, it's cute. Don't get me wrong, it's cute and all. But
so I definitely see a little vacation and be like, ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait
a vacation. Ooh, I want to go to Bora Bora. Ooh, but then I'd be like,
but it's like,
how she get to Bora Bora? What she do? Like, then I go all the way back and be like, when she start dating this man? This what she used to look like?
I feel like your social media life should be like a mystery. Like, have people guessing, keep them on their toes. Especially if you're in a relationship. Like, and people think because you don't post each other every second of the day that, oh, y'all broke up. We stand right next to each other every day on the couch, like me and Susan, we don't post each other every second of the day. I mean, I post her so y'all know she's still in the picture, but I'm about to it's my Instagram, but it's not our Instagram, it's not her Instagram, so it's like people, they just consumed on certain things in a relationship, and it's just, it don't gotta be like that.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good place to end. I appreciate you for coming on. It was so last minute, but she pulled through, y'all. Y'all will see her again season 3.
Oh, God.
Because she's very, very mature, smart, and very opinionated. We go way back, y'all. This the homie for life.
Yes.
So,
I love you. Thank
love
you for
you
having
more.
me.
Thank you for coming on. Especially last minute. It really means a lot. So, I'm going to drop. You want your Instagram on here?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Follow me on Instagram. You can find me at _TOXIQUE. It's pronounced toxic, guys. It's French for toxic, but I'm not toxic anymore. I promise you, I'm not.
So I will put I will also put it down below. I will also put Kiara and O'Shea's. Also for Kiara and O'Shea, if you are in the DMV, O'Shea cuts hair. He's a very good barber. So follow his Instagram. And Kiara has a business where she, correct me if I'm wrong, Kiara, but she has dog sitting. I think cats too. So if you're in the DMV and you go on trips, or doggy daycare, I should say, she does that also. So if you're in the DMV, need a haircut, go to O'Shea. If need somebody to watch a dog or cat, go to Kiara. I'll put their Instagrams down below. And thank y'all for watching. See y'all next week.
Bye.